Good evening, friends. We know that we have two epics in India, very famous and deeply rooted to the Indian culture, that gives a flood of light about family life, about political life, about patriotism, about social life, about economic growth, about many things that we should know to connect ourselves, to know better, to go deeper and deeper, to make our lives fuller and fuller, richer and richer, nobler and nobler, finer and finer, to turn ourselves from man to superman, from ordinary to extraordinary. And there are so many stories related to the different characters from top to bottom in these epics like the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. And when we talk about the Ramcharitmanas written by Kavi Kul Kaladhar Sant Shiromani Tulsidas, we come to know about the strength of Ram Bhakt Hanuman, that we say devotee of Lord Rama, who has a special position in our heart that guide us as a trailblazer, as a pathfinder who paves our way to regain the supreme devotion of God. So, here is one short brief about the strength and presence of mind of Sri Hanuman, Anjani Putra Pavan Sutnama, Mahavir Vikram Bajrangi. So many lines are there, so many stories are related to the strength, the common sense, which gives us and lightens our life in worldly adventurous rocky path to take us to the supreme height of devotion. Mahavira's strength and daring has fascinated everyone for generations. And according to the Ramayana, when Hanuman was a child, he jumped to catch the rising sun, believing it to be a shiny fruit. Indra, king of gods, was enraged at the child's audacity and hurled his Vajra thunderbolt at him. The weapon struck the child's jaw and made him unconscious. Upset, Vayu became furious and stopped blowing. As living beings and gods began to asphyxiate asphyxiate, Indra withdrew the effect of his thunderbolt and the gods revived Hanuman. To pacify Vayu, Brahma offered a boon that no weapon would ever harm Hanuman, and Indra offered the boon that death would never touch him. However, a permanent mark was left on the child's Hanu, means chin, by the thunderbolt, which explains his name Hanuman. When the problem of crossing the ocean to search for Sita became apparent, The throng of monkeys realized that none of them had the strength to cross it except Hanuman. He was then reminded of his strength by Jamwant, and as the memory of his capabilities slowly dawned, Hanuman started growing in size and massive strength. Hanuman assumed a form fit for crossing the ocean. The Vanaras were greatly astonished. The Vanaras were greatly astonished at this, as in olden times people were struck with wonder seeing Vaman, Vishnu, covering the three worlds. Hanuman realized he was invincible, that he could even crush the world with his strength and move wherever he willed. While crossing the ocean, he outsmarted Sursa, the mother of serpents, by first increasing his size to a great extent and then suddenly becoming very small to thus enter her mouth and safely exit. This showed his presence of mind in a difficult situation. Further, he killed the demoness Simhika by a single blow before entering Lanka. Observing this feat, the gods commented, "He who has patience, intelligence, keen sight, and skill like you never loses his heart in anything." The demoness Lanka, invincible patron goddess of Lanka, challenged Hanuman when he tried to enter the city. Hanuman initially ignored her, but when she hit him, he beat her up thoroughly. This was the beginning of the end of the great empire of Ravan, the ten-headed demon king of Lanka. Hanuman is worshipped as the ideal brahmachari and perfect master of his senses. How great was this aspect is noticed when Hanuman entered Ravana's splendid palace at night in search of Sita. He went around the bedchamber looking at the hundreds of wives of Ravan who were fast asleep in various postures and clothes in disarray. He concluded that Sita could not be found there, but became worried about his own moral transgression. He thought, "It is surely unrighteous to see another's wife under the influence of sleep. I have never cast my eyes since my birth on another's wife. Surely I shall be guilty of inquiry, but my mind has not been least stirred by it. It is the mind that induces the sense either to virtue or to vice. This is the ultimate yardstick in mind control and also in deciding issues regarding virtue and vice." Okay, when Hanuman located a terror stricken Sita in the Ashok Grove, he wanted to reveal his mission by narrating the story of Ram Sita to her. But then he thought, if I speak in Sanskrit like a Brahman, then Sita may be greatly frightened, thinking me to be Ravan, who was capable of adopting any physical form. It is therefore proper to speak in the ordinary dialect of a common man. That is how he won Sita's confidence. And when she asked him to step before her so that the she could see him, he appeared in a humble form. After meeting Sita, Hanuman decided to destroy a part of Ravana's army. So he killed many important demons. Later he was captured tactfully, since no weapon could harm him, by Meghnad, Ravana's son, and was brought before Ravan. There he scolded Ravan for his wickedness, which made the king order his tail to be burnt. Escaping with a tail blazing, Hanuman lived from place to place and burnt down a large part of the capital. When Lakshman was wounded in battle, Susain, the doctor, asked Hanuman to go to the Mahoday mountain and obtain the precious herbs Vish, Vishkarni, which heals arrow wounds. Savarna Karnani, which brings back color to the skin. Sanjeev Karni, which brings back consciousness, and Samadhan Karni, which joins broken bones. Hanuman reached the mountains with one mighty bounce or leap, but could not identify the particular herbs. So he realized the entire mountain. So he realized that the entire mountain is full of peculiar herbs, strange to know. So he lifted the entire mountain and lived back to where Rama was. Everyone present, including the gods, were dumbstruck at this unusual feat. And when we talk about the bhakti of Hanuman, we come to know about Valmiki's when he portrays Hanuman as one on deputation from Sugriv to his friend Sri Ram. Sri Ram also treats him thus. So the idea that Hanuman was a Das, servant of Sri Ram, is an addition by later poets, which has been comprehensively taken by throughout the country. Mahavir Hanuman thus became the ideal of Dasya Bhav, the spiritual attitude of servant in Bhakti literature. Sri Ram, Sri Ramakrishna, after his stupendous sadhana and realizations, experimented with various other practices to realize God in different forms. To attain perfection in Dasya Bhakti, Sri Ramakrishna became so absorbed in the thought of Mahavir Hanuman that he forgot for the time being his individuality. He used to eat, walk, and do all other things like Mahavir. The intensity grew so much an extent that his eyes took on a restless expression, and the lower end of the backbone lengthened by about an inch. Finally, Sri Ramakrishna obtained the culmination of Dasya Bhakti with the vision of Sita. Sri Ram felt deeply obliged to Hanuman after he returned with the news of Sita. To express his gratitude, Sri Ram wanted to make a gift to Hanuman. After realization of God, but to orientate themselves to a universal life and reality. A spiritual life for the modern youth is a personal quest for meaning, for security, for love, for peace. The second notable feature is a change in the attitude of people towards themselves. So, if we go thoroughly about the greatness of Hanuman, we come to know about so many things. I am sorry that I cannot reward him properly for this act. When Rama told after getting the news, achieving the success, as Lord Rama realized that this service cannot be repaid back or cannot be minimized by giving anything to a person. Now only a friendly embrace is all that I can give, and with delight I give him that. Shortly after Sri Ram was crowned emperor upon his return to Ayodhya, he decided to reward all his well-wishers. At a grand ceremony at his court, all of Sri Rama's friends and allies took turns to be honored. Seeing Hanuman approaching and overwhelmed, Sri Ram embraced him warmly and declared that he could never adequately honor or repay Hanuman for the help and services he had rendered. Sita, however, insisted that Hanuman deserved honor more than anyone else, and so she gave him a necklace of precious pearls that adorned her neck. Hanuman received it and started breaking every pearl to peer what was inside. Taken aback, many of those present there demanded to know why he was destroying the precious gift. Hanuman replied, saying that he wanted to ensure that Sri Ram and Sita were in the pearls, because if they were not, the necklace was useless to him. He was mocked for this reply and was asked if his own heart had Sri Rama and Sita. In response, Hanuman tore his chest open, and everyone was stunned to see the living images of Sri Ram and Sita inside. Swamiji explained the stages of realization that correspond to the three philosophies of Dvaita, Vasishtha Dvait, and Advait. Thus, Hanuman, the devotee of Rama, summed up his philosophy in these words: when I identify myself with the body, O Lord, I am thy creature, eternally separate from thee. When I identify myself with the soul, I am a spark of that divine fire which thou art. But when I identify myself with the Atma, I and you are one. By the divine boons he received, Mahavir Hanuman continues to live. In the Mahabharata, there is an episode in which he had an encounter with the Pandavas, Prince Bhim, who was also born of Vayu and therefore step-brother of Mahavir. Unlike Hanuman, Bhim was a proud of his strength. So, to teach him a lesson in humility, Hanuman took up the form of an old monkey and lay on the road. When Bhim protested, Hanuman asked him to lift his tail from the path and proceed. Bhim could not even budge it and became humiliated. He understood this was no ordinary monkey and begged pardon. Hanuman then revealed his identity and also promised to sit on the flag of Arjuna's chariot during the war. Hanuman also showed his huge form to Bhim and added that he could have destroyed the Lankan army alone, but he did not do so to glorify Sri Ram. The tradition and belief is that wherever the deeds of Sri Ram are sung, at all such places Hanuman appears and sheds tears of devotion and joy, and at all such places his presence removes the fear of demons from the mind of devotees. Today, temples dedicated to Hanuman are found all over India and also in other countries, and this deathless hero is worshipped by thousands of people. Wherever we see in our country, we see beside the road there is a temple of this great devotee Hanuman, which signifies the devotion, dedication, and determination for duty. We learn a lot of lesson when we come to know about all these things in our life. So this is a short story that explains the bravery, the devotion of Bhakt Shiromani Hanuman.